Welcome to the Jesus Coming Soon morning program. Today we have a very interesting news. It's about the birds of prey migrating to northern Israel. They are multiplying every day. And this prophecy is in Ezekiel chapter 38 and chapter 39, when we have God calling all the birds, all kind of birds, to the great feast day when those birds will eat the flesh of the enemies of Israel. Listen to this news here. Israel is a great place to go birding, having over 500 resident and migrant species. That is due largely to its location in the eastern Mediterranean and the crossroads of Asia, Europe, and Africa. Northern Israel is blessed with an abundance of water source, craggy volcanic mountains in the northeast, and a temperature climate, all of which attract species not found in other parts of Israel. The north is home to many birds of prey, including griffon vultures, imperial eagles, long-legged buzzards, and Egyptian vultures, a prime site for these species. So the skies of Israel are being crowded of many kinds of birds. Listen to it here. Bird migration is big in Israel. Per square kilometer, the country has one of the highest levels of bird traffic in the world. Every autumn, over 500 million birds cross Israel airspace, heading south to warming weather in Africa. Israel sits on the junction of three continents, says Dr. Yossi Leshen, director of Israel's International Center for the Study of Bird Migration. Politically, it's a disaster. For bird migration, it's heaven. So they are worried because birds are multiplying very fast. But listen also this here. The buzzards of Israel are displaying affection for each other in multiplying, and also the Israeli people have a rather strange affection for the buzzards. The birds of prey are frequently poisoned by Israeli farmers. Israel's Spreading Wings program to resuscitate the vulture population has set up 20 feeding and nesting stations around the country. When the Jews were absent from the land during the diaspora, the land became a virtual desert. With no trees or grain crops, the wild animals and bird population of Israel, including the vultures, disappeared. Now that Israel is back, trees cover the land and extensive farming of all kinds provides food for the birds and wild animals once more. The vulture population at Gamla, on the east side of the Sea of Galilee, has been increasing in recent years. But setting up nesting and feeding stations for vulture throughout Israel is increasing vulture population. Now even mating vultures that have been injured and cannot fly are mating because of scientific effort, which has made this type of mating possible. The question is, why does Israel have such an affinity for vultures? Prophetic scriptures assign a very important function to the foes of the earth who feast primarily on Canaan, like vultures. After Jesus has slaughtered all the enemies of Israel in the battle of Gog. So, this prophecy is happening in front of our eyes when many kinds of birds are multiplying and are crossing the skies of Israel every year. So eagles, falcons, vultures, buzzards, all of them are being prepared by God for the great feast day, the great banquet, when they are going to eat the flesh of all the enemies of Israel. You're going to see now a video about the starling birds. They were absent from Israel for many years, and now they are returning back to Israel. And it's fantastic to see those birds flying. They make many incredible things. You're going to see this video about the starling birds. They are coming back to Israel. So Jesus is coming back very soon. Even the prophecy about the birds, they are going to eat flesh in the mountains of Israel. They are multiplying. They are being seen. They have been seen in the camps of the fields of Israel. So be prepared for the returning of Jesus. Pour your life in the hour of our good Lord. Get away from sin. Be a man and a woman of praying. Pray to God. Pour your life in the service of God. Watch this video now about the birds, the starling birds coming back to Israel. God bless you too much. Jesus is coming back soon.
An absolutely spectacular sight in the skies over Israel. A huge flock of synchronized birds created what looked like moving black clouds. These starlings formed a rare phenomenon known as a murmuration. It's believed that one of the reasons that starlings exhibit this behavior is as a defense mechanism against predators. Coordinated movements make it more difficult for other birds to catch them. After a long absence in Israel, short-distance migrant starlings have begun to return there, but experts are not exactly sure why. For NBCNews.com, I'm Dara Brown.